Eddie, Gary, Tea and Trails podcast listeners. It's Leslie Lewis here. I'm in Mid Wales on the coast near Borth, and I am 21 miles now exactly into my Hardmoors 30 virtual run. So less than 10 to go now. For the second year in a row, I couldn't make it up north on the 2nd or 3rd of January because of bad weather. So I think I'm just going to take the hint now. I've got the route on my phone and I'm just going to run it during summertime when I know I can get there and go to a nice tea shop afterwards. So can't wait to hear the next episode. Thanks guys for keeping me company on a beautiful chilly day. Look at my view and look at that hill that I've got to go up now. Bye.
Thanks to Harrier Trail Running for sponsoring this week's interview. Harrier is a UK trail running brand making quality, function and affordable gear for anyone who loves getting off the road. You don't have to get off the road, but, I would advise it, both for your legs and for your sanity, whether you're a first-time trail runner or a seasoned ultra athlete. The kit covers everything from race vests, poles, waterproof and other trail running essentials. Built for ever-changing weather, you go out in a T-shirt and you end up putting a layer, another layer, waterproof, another waterproof. We love Harrier at Tea and Trails because they truly champion inclusivity and community. They help runners of every level feel welcome, supported and confident to get out and explore the trails. The Exmoor 2.5 layer waterproof jacket is built for runners who want to keep moving whatever the weather. Weighing from just 236 grams, this lightweight jacket delivers serious protection without slowing you down. Perfect for long training sessions, mountain trails or ultra distance races, and starts at $94.99. I wore it for every single step of my recent Northern Traverse recce. If you'd like to save 10% on your purchase from Harrier, then use the code TS10 for 10% off site-wide, or check out their brilliant trail running bundles for a special 20% off.
I went dirty. I cheated on it with its brother, the Pro, which is not right. I also got very intimate with the Helvellyn Pro poles over the weekend. I've neglected running with poles because I didn't want to get my hands cold or it stopped me eating. But when I was on my own, I was complete master of the pace. And there's that point where you come out of Gromont and that climb just goes on and on and on.
Oh, is it that really steep, horrible one? Yeah.
Yeah. Get your poles out. Click,
Get
clack,
your
click.
pole. Click, clackety, click. This week we chat with Jade Barrett, who, we went into the chats to talk about, she completed the double-double. There isn't a word for it, of 50 Centurion 50-mile races and Centurion 100-mile races. And then plus she popped in a few 50Ks and then just thought, you know what, I'm going to do the Winter 200 to add on to top of this. But as we progressed through the talk, she slotted in a number of other races as well. She makes me feel genuinely... And she's such a lovely person. She makes it fit, which I really liked. She was like, it's no big deal. I just kept going. I'd turn up, I'd learn, I'd look after myself, and I just keep going. I like that energy. There wasn't any hype. It was just like, I just look after myself, I eat well, and I just keep going. Highs come, lows go. If you're looking for a little inspiration, we're not advising perhaps everybody that you need to sign up to all these races, but I always think it helps to put things in perspective as well, that people are out there doing amazing things and showing such strength, and just pops back to work, takes the dogs out, life goes on. Incredible.
I find these really inspiring because I can relate to people like Jade. Sometimes when you see the super elite, your Courtneys and your Tom Evans, their lives don't mimic mine.
You and Jade, I can see you sharing some YouTube follow along videos in your happy place. A bit of heavy metal on in the background.
Bit of metal, yeah. We forgot to mention though, all the Centurion running, but you kicked off the year with the Arc as well. So my goodness me.
I'm sure we forgot to mention many races. You probably can't remember because you did so many. Settle in, enjoy our chat with Jade. Thank you, Jade. You must be so tired after your weekend.
Yeah, it was quite a big weekend. I was volunteering for Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Not the whole day, just I did the start lines. So Friday was quite a big day, and then Saturday and Sunday were just early starts that finished by lunchtime.
Oh, so you got some running in?
I did get some running in, yeah.
So you would have seen, if you're at the start line, you would have seen all of the nervous runners, because I'm cosy in the northeast here, but I did see the weather forecast, so a lot of stressed out runners going through kit check.
Yeah, it was really bad. The weather was just I felt so sorry for them and really glad that I wasn't running.
I've only seen like one video really of it, and it's them coming down a grassy bank, and they're just is so muddy. Imagine doing 100 miles in that. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it was a mud bath. And I'm not going to say it's my fault, but the last 3 races I've volunteered on have had a named storm at them. Maybe I should give up volunteering.
No, don't do that. You did it in 2025 as well, didn't you, the Arc?
Yeah. We had, so there was a storm that year, but the storm was the day before and the day after. So it was muddy, but mostly okay.
So you've done it once. You've seen the conditions over the weekend. Would you go back?
I think if I go back next year, I'll do the 50 again. I've done the 50 before. I don't want to tempt fate.
Yeah, I always say this for the Lakeland 100. I think the Lakeland 50, that is just the race to do. You get all the vibe, you get all the razzmatazz.
Yeah. You've got to run a lot more, Gary. You've got to run a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not someone like myself. But you get all the vibe. You see the entertainment on the Friday night. You get all the finish line fails. You have a good run out still, but you've just not absolutely completely destroyed yourself like you do on 100.
Yeah, I think so. And I've done the 50 before, and I'd really like to go back and just do it a bit better. Whereas with the 100, you just can't guarantee if you'll do it better.
Very wise to say that. You're very wise, because whatever those long 50s, the jeopardy, there is jeopardy, but it's just not as much jeopardy.
Yeah, but then we go and do 200s, or enter them at least. We both done big recce's over the weekend. Now we're asking, well, I am at least, not going to speak for Eddie, but like, goodness me, how am I going to do the Northern Traverse? I feel absolutely cooked after doing 2 days, arguably the probably easiest section, the moors, I suppose, when you compare to the lakes at least. Do you ever have that? Because obviously you've done 200 milers and you've done big training runs. You think, oh my goodness, how am I going to do that?
I'm doing the Northern Traverse as well. I ran just 10 miles on Friday. And my legs were knackered. And already I'm thinking, how on earth am I going to do the Northern Traverse? Even though I've only just done a 200, you still think the distance is impossible.
It's that recovery. I can't imagine. So I ran out of the line in yesterday feeling okay. Definitely I had some fatigue in the body, but if I had to go and do that again now. So how are you feeling after 6 weeks out after the winter 200?
Not too bad, really. Yeah, I think everything's back to normal. I've got a little bit of an Achilles pain, but I had Achilles problems before the race anyway. They had cleared up, and now I've just had a little bit of a flare up. But other than that, I'm doing all right. I've done a few hill sessions and speed sessions and everything. I've only just started doing that again, but it's the Northern Traverse. It's so much hillier than any of the Centurion Run races that I ran this year. And I just feel like I haven't got my mountain legs back yet.
Yeah, but it's a puzzle, because if you look at the elevation over the whole course, it doesn't look spectacular, but it is all front loaded. Then you've got this little bit in the middle where I was going to say runnable. It's probably not going to be runnable on the day. No. And then you hit the hills again on the moors. So I think it's such a puzzle of a race. Yeah,
well, I've done the Lakes Traverse, so I know what's coming there, and I know how relentless the climbs feel, especially when you're from the south. We don't really have anything like that here.
So what's local running like for you? You're based in Kent?
Kent. Yeah, I've got loads of fields, and that's about it, really. So my local trails are fields. I can go a bit further out and get the North Downs or the South Downs, so I do a fair bit of running there.
So you could recce all the Centurion stuff relatively easy?
Yeah, I know the Centurion bits anyway. I'd done the North Downs 50 previously in 2023, I think that was. And I do a fair bit of running with social groups on the South Downs. So I was quite confident that I knew those bits.
So we are going to talk about the slam today, Jade, but I suppose, we'd be remiss to not say congratulations for your recent 200-mile ultramarathon, finishing in a time of 76 hours, 58 minutes and 13 seconds. I've copied this from Centurion, so apology if it's wrong, but you became the first person ever to complete the full Centurion calendar, starting with the 100 Hills 50K in March. Getting yourself up for challenge after challenge, I think that is so impressive, and everything is just aching. Saying it, what is the Centurion calendar? What does the slam look like?
You have 2 slams. You have a 50 slam and a 100 slam. So the 50 slam is doing all of the Centurion 50-mile races. There are 4 of them. The North Downs, the South Downs, the Chiltern Wonderland and Wendover Woods. And then you have the 100 slam as well, which is all 4 100-mile races. So you have the Thames Path 100, the North Downs 100, the South Downs 100 and the Autumn 100. And then unofficially you can do the double slam, which is both the 50s and both the 100s, which initially that's all I was going to do. I was just going to do the double slam, and I thought that was enough.
But you started the year with the Arc. And then you
Yeah.
put in the 100 hills 50k.
Yeah.
And then you finished with the 200.
Yeah. There was just a little seed. You know how the seeds get planted, and then you don't mean for it, but they just keep getting bigger and bigger. So I entered 100 Hills 50k and the Winter Downs just because nobody had ever done it before. And I thought, give it a go.
At any point, did you get a message from James Elson saying, Jade, just checking that you are meaning to, you and double entered all these races?
I don't think he realised until I finished Wendover. So
Like,
I don't think he really cottoned on.
Seen you before.
Yeah. He knew I was doing the double slam, but he didn't realise I'd entered everything, I don't think, until we got to Wendover.
So you have to enter it individually. I think like with Hardmoors, local to me, you can enter it as a slam.
Yeah, you can, but I volunteered for, I think, 7 out of 10 Centurion races in 2024. So I had most of my places through volunteer entries, so I entered them individually.
I'm just trying to think of the timeline over the year. What is the time distance between those races? Do they come thick and fast?
Some of them do. The Thames Path 100 was followed 2 weeks later by the North Downs 50. That was the shortest gap between races. The longest gap was between the South Downs 100 and the North Downs 100. They had 8 weeks in between, which was quite a big break, really.
You mustn't have known what to do with yourself. Were you like, guys, should we meet up?
Yeah, I popped over to Wales. Did some volunteering, some running in the mountains. It was lovely.
How do you train for something like that? Because I do some coaching through Centurion, and when I get people that say I want to do the slam, I go, oh, no. Because basically I say to them, I encourage them, but I say it is really, really hard because you have to, basically you get yourself as fit as you can at the start, and then the whole year. And these are people just doing 50s or I've never had someone doing the double, triple. Yeah. You need a special word for all those. You basically don't, you get fit as you can, and then the whole year is about recovery. But you were doing the Arc in January. It's just sort of like you're a freak of nature. How did you manage to fit those all in? What did training look like?
Well, I didn't really know how it was going to go to start with, because the Arc was only my second 100 miles. So by the time I'd entered into the double slam, I don't think I'd even done 100-mile race at that point. But I just sort of thought I could do it.
Yes, I love this.
I'd done a fair few smaller ultras up to 100k in 2024. So I knew that I recovered quite well. It was just putting that into practice for 100 miles as well, and consecutive 50 miles. So I just sort of wrote down the races and the time between them. And I just sort of looked at them as the 50s were either a long training run for the 100 or a recovery run from 100. and I just set my mindset like that, really. But training wise, I didn't do anything special. I did get a coach after the Arc, just because I thought it would be a better idea to get someone that could keep me from running too much in between the races, because I've got a tendency to just go out and do whatever I want without really thinking about it.
So what did that look like then? What did that change about your running?
That implemented a bit more discipline, a bit more speed work and hill work, and less long runs at the weekend.
You didn't need that. Were they like, you don't need that right now?
Yeah. Yeah, and it was nice to keep me from just entering, because I had a feeling that if I didn't get a coach, then in those 4-week gaps between races, I'd enter another marathon or something, and then really ruin myself.
Tell us what your recovery secrets are, because you do, I know a lot of it actually is, some people just do recover quicker than other people, the body, it's genetics, but a lot of it also is how you manage yourself in races to then how you recover. So perhaps we should start with that angle first, is that with that enormous race calendar, did you have to be quite strict then how you approached each race? Because you were on your own really on that start line. You can't be like, I'm going to race her and I'm going to race her, because no one else is writing their history like you are.
Yeah, I knew I had to go out relatively easily. I didn't start the year out that way. The 100 Hills 50k, I went out and got a 50k PB. The South Downs 50, I got a 50k PB. And I think that probably gave me a bit too much false confidence, because by the time the Thames Path 100 came around, I went out like I was starting park run. And
everyone does.
And I did really ruin myself on that one. So I did have to take a bit of a step back and then remind myself I wasn't racing every race. It was all about the long game, and it wasn't about seeing whether I could get a sub 24 100 mile. It was just about finishing it. So I did take that approach by the time the Thames Path 100 had finished.
That's quite good that it happened quite early on as well. It was going to happen on the Thames Path 100 because it happens to everybody, doesn't it? That they go through Henley and...
Yeah, I don't think I even got through Henley before I broke myself. I was about 30. I was about 30. See, James asked for ladies to go up on the start line, and nobody really jumped to it, but I was in his direct line of sight, so he called me forward, and I started on the front, and I was with all the men that were out for their sub 16 hour finish, and I was running with them like we were all in it together, and then I wasn't.
How would you do that though, Jade? Like, have that maturity? I know, Thames Path 100 is a different story, but you've got this big goal. You've said like training runs or recovery runs, but then I think everybody will kind of resonate with this. You do find yourself in little mini competitions within the race.
Luckily, I'm never in danger of winning anything.
Well, you could be if you focused on one thing, but
if I focus,
you're running your own competition, really, aren't you?
Yeah. So for me, it's just about getting to the end, and getting to the end still being able to move and train for the next one. I didn't want the year to end because I ruined myself trying to get an arbitrary 15th lady instead of 20th lady.
How did that look like then within each race? What did you focus on to make sure that you were getting to the end in sort of one piece?
I planned my paces, where I was going to be at every checkpoint. I used a website that you could put in to start with, my coach was planning it for me, and I was tracking it that way. He'd said at what sort of time I was going to be at each checkpoint, and I was keeping an eye on that to make sure that I wasn't going off too fast, really. Yeah, and it seemed to work as a tactic. It also made me think, because you get the fear that you're not going to make it in time. But if you've got your times written down to get to each checkpoint, and you do get there in time, you know that you're going to get to the next checkpoint, and you know you're going to get to the finish, probably. But otherwise, you look at your watch and you just have a panic that you're behind where you should be. And so I tried to keep the panic out of each race, really.
What was that webpage you used?
Ultra Pacer.
Yeah. Have you ever used that, Gary?
No, I haven't. I do love paces. I love a pacing strategy
you should go on that.
When the numbers are in my favour. But as soon as they start to drift, I turn that screen off on my watch.
I had an A goal, a B goal, and a C goal. So usually I would go out for the A goal, knowing that I would slow down to the B goal halfway through the race, and then probably end up more on the C goal.
What's the nav like? Are you very familiar with the Centurion stuff? Is it quite easy to follow? Yeah,
they're all really well marked. And I had my watch, so that wasn't a problem. The Centurion races, it's quite hard to go wrong, really. You're marked from the start to the finish. It's outside assistant
if it goes wrong, isn't it? There's the odd, well, there always is a dog walker that moves tape, or somebody that doesn't like the tape there. But James has like a specialist team, Gary, that he trains them up. Put out all the markers the day before the race, and then there is somebody behind on each section of the course clearing. Then there was someone else that does the last clear when everyone's gone. They re-clear again to check that it's incredible. So it would all be beautiful, like you can't go wrong. It'd be beautifully marked, and then within a few hours, it's like it was never there.
Yeah, and I think Drew goes out on the day of the race as well. So if anything does get moved, Drew's out driving around, making sure it gets remarked.
Grumpy man with a Labrador, handful of Centurion flags. What are these for?
Is the philosophy of Centurion, I know you can have crew at certain points on these big races at least, but can you have pacers too?
Yeah, you can have crew and pacers. I started the year sure I was going to do it all on my own, and I went out on the Thames Path with no crew, no pacer, and I really regretted it because I broke myself so much. I just thought if I'd had crew, they could have had my poles, they could have had ibuprofen gel for me when my hips went out. And someone to give me a hug on the finish line. I started crying about 10 miles before the end on that one because I'd been in so much pain for such a long time and there wasn't even anyone to give me a hug at the finish.
Oh, that'll break.
So that's when I decided that I was not going to be quite as stubborn and then I was going to let my friends help me because I had so many offers anyway.
So you can have crew for the hundreds, but not for the 50s.
Yeah, you can't have crew for the Autumn 100, but you can have a pacer from Reading, which I feel sorry for my pacer because that's not a very nice section of the race. If you've done the Autumn 100, you're just running out to Reading and back, and it's quite a slog.
Oh yeah. What was your highest point? It might be really hard to think of this, but what was do you have one bit of all the races where you go, that was the best, that was the reason I did it?
Each race brings its own high, really, doesn't it? The South Downs was just such a magical race anyway. There was so many people around and you've got so much daylight, and I had my crew with me, which was lovely. And then the North Downs 100, one guy that I'd met from volunteering previously, he was out crewing his wife and he was cheering me on like he was my personal cheerleader, which was lovely. I don't think I could pick one moment from one race. The whole year has been great.
Did you have a low when you thought, I can't do this?
Yeah. The North Downs 100, there's a section between Detling and Hollingbourne, which it's horrible anyway. There's just stairs up and stairs down, and it's at about mile 80, and my IT band had gone and I couldn't really bend my left leg. So it was quite painful going downstairs and quite painful going upstairs. I think I just sat on one of the steps and thought, if I just go to sleep, that's it.
What did you do? So let's say, let's pick one out. Which one did you say when you had the shortest turnaround? It's 2 weeks, isn't it? From the Thames Path 100, was it? Until the North Downs Way 50. Yeah. What did you do in those 2 weeks? Because if you could have lost the whole season in those 2 weeks, couldn't you? I
could have done, yeah. When I got to the end of the finish line on the Thames Path, I laid down on the floor and I actually couldn't get up. And one of my friends texted someone that she knew on the finish line that was supporting someone else and asked him to pick me up and take me to my car because my car was about 2 miles away, I think. And I couldn't get there. So he did. He picked me up and he took me to his car and he drove me to the finish line. And then the day after the Thames Path, I couldn't get out the bath. I couldn't pick myself up. So my husband had to come and pick me out the bath. So I was really worried about the turnaround. But I had to go to Devon to dog sit for my mum. She was away for a week. And I just had a week of doing nothing. I had my 2 dogs and her dogs, so I couldn't really go anywhere. And it was lovely and sunny, and I just worked and sunbathed. And
did you run at all?
I ran once. I couldn't go out, so I ran laps of my mum's field, which isn't very big. It took me about 27 laps of the field to do 5K.
Did you have all 4 dogs with you when you were doing that? Were they like, what are you doing?
2 of the dogs followed me. My dog, she loves running anyway. And my mum's dog is quite crazy, so he followed me. And my other dog absolutely hates running. She just sat at the top of the field and sort of watching us thinking,
furious.
Why are we doing this? And that was my only run between the Thames Path 100 and the North Downs 50. And really, I only did it to see if I could still run, because I didn't want to go into the North Downs 50 with the worry of, can I actually move? Hanging over me.
Did you get a bit blasé about the 50s when you stood on the 50 start lines? Were you like, this is just a day. I can do this.
Yeah, this will be over in 12 hours. We're fine. Yeah, I did a bit, especially the North Downs 50, because I do know it quite well. Yeah, but I got a bit humbled because although I did start okay, within 20 miles, my shins started hurting. And yeah, the pain that still hadn't gone away from the Thames Path was definitely there.
Did you slowly, because I hear of people that do these amazing challenges and like people that do a marathon every day or an ultra every day for consecutive days. Did you find your body actually improved throughout the year and your recovery improved, or did you just get more and more tired?
Yeah, it was a bit of both, really. My mindset going into 100 miles, I think, improved, because the more you do them, the better you get at your admin, the better you get at eating, the better you get at just knowing when you can push again and when you can't push. But also, I did get a bit fatigued. By the time the Chiltern 50 came round, which was in October, I think, I'd lost my motivation. I didn't want to go out and do that race, and it felt like a slog from the beginning. That picked up through the race as well.
How are you feeling these runs? Talking quite a lot about Northern Traverse nutrition.
Yeah.
You've got these support points that are so stretched. While when you say done the Winter Downs 200, you've got your crew, I suppose, as often as you like. Yeah, how are you fueling your year?
Mostly Marmite sandwiches. When I first started running, I'd have my pockets filled with so much variety of flapjacks and sweets and sandwiches. But by the end of it, I just have Marmite sandwiches and gels.
Bit of butter? Bit of butter?
Oh, yeah, butter. Absolutely.
Brown or white bread?
White bread.
And do you cut the crust off?
No, I like the crust.
Okay. Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I just like the crust because I just ate it to the crust. It's like, so I don't get my manky fingers on all the sandwich.
Oh, it's too much chewing. Too much chewing with the crust.
And SAS beta gels, I really like those ones.
So you could take those for days and days and days on end, because for me, it would be like maybe 6 hours.
Yeah, on the 50s, I was taking probably a gel an hour, maybe, and I could keep the gels going through the 50s. But for the 100s, I didn't go crazy on the gels, but I would have one or two.
You get that moment, don't you, when you're just like, I need something. There's no chewing going to go on here. I just need something, and then it's done. And I know I can just then suffer for an hour and not have to have a Marmite sandwich in my mouth for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I baked a banana bread for the South Downs 100 as well. And some cookies. That was quite nice to have.
Northern Traverse, obviously, you've not got that luxury, your crew. So what are your thoughts for that race?
Yeah, it's quite worrying, really. When I was doing the Winter Downs 200, and you could see your crew it was about every 7 to 8 miles, which was lovely. But then there were a few towards the end where you didn't see your crew for maybe 11 to 14 miles. And I really felt like I unraveled not seeing anyone for 14 miles. And then when you look at the Northern Traverse and you've got to go for 30 miles without seeing anyone, I am a bit worried. I'm going to go and do a 50k in Dartmoor in February, which I'm going to try not to use the support points for, just to see if I can take all the kit through, take enough water, take enough food. Although we're going a long way between support points, there's going to be so many more runners around us. The Winter Downs was really lonely. You see someone through the night and then that's it. But I think in the Northern Traverse, we're going to have the Lakes Traverse runners, we're going to have all the Northern Traverse runners around us. Yeah, and then when we hit the Dales, I don't really know whether the races in the Dales start while we're running through it.
You don't see anybody. The thing about the Northern Traverse is that you're not expecting to see anybody. So it's not like when you're crewed, I think because you're not going to see anybody, you're in that mentality that and also there's nowhere to see anybody. So you're not passing any roads or, most of it is the reason that there isn't anywhere. Well, Shane loves those sort of things, but also you're so remote that you sort of you just get into it. You've got the bit out of Kirby Stephen up over the Nine Sisters and then all round behind Keld. You're really in one of the remotest parts of England. So it's not like
you feel better.
You are in but you're sort of like, you've got you'll have all your nutrition, you'll have your water.
Yeah.
The only thing I think carrying the water is like the hardest thing, because the fuel you can work it out, but the water for 10-hour stretches, that is you have to weigh up between carrying a filter, carrying the weight of.
You can go in shops, can't you, with the Northern Traverse?
There aren't any. From what I can see, looking at it, the only time that shops really come up, you're nearly at a support point anyway.
Yeah, so Kirby Stephen, there's a co-op, but you've just come out of the checkpoint. That's probably the first. Shap, if you went through Shap in daytime, then there's a co-op there.
You got the petrol station.
But you're at the support point.
But then you're at the support.
Anyway.
So it's the only one really is the petrol station when you do that horrendous road. That really is. Yeah, there isn't any. You can't rely on any.
I wonder if people go on the Lion Inn. I know it's not that far away from Glaisdale, but I wonder if people.
You don't actually go past the Lion Inn, really.
Well, you can take a little
You won't want to take.
You won't want to take it. You won't want to take a detour.
Even if you were on
No.
your knees, you would be like 500 meters extra. I'm not going down there. I'd have to walk back up the Eiger, which is nothing. But when you're there, you'll just be like, I'm turning left.
I'm going to have to test how, if I buy some Greg's cheese and onion pasties, I want to see how long they're good for in a bag. See if I can eat them for a few days.
Yeah, do that this week. Put them in a bag on Tuesday and take them on every run with you in your belt. And then Friday, have them for lunch. Oh.
They'll get so sweaty.
Can't wait for that.
I've taken a Cornish pasty on a run in the Southwest Coast Path before, and even on 10 miles, it's not great by the end.
No, I don't think you want flaky pastry, Gary. I think you want a quite hard crusted roll in some ways, because that'll it'll get soggy, but its soggy ratio will get less and less.
I should have read this, Eddie. You'll know. Can you then take a bowl of lasagna and walk off onto the trail with it? You can do that?
Yeah, you could do that. I don't know why you would, though. Then what are you going to do with the bowl? Oh, no, you have to use your own
yes,
bowl.
Oh, goodness me.
It's not easy. But like all these things, it's like when you do the spine, you learn on the job. So you can only really learn when you do it. You learn about the checkpoints. You learn about what works, what doesn't work. You'll take all this food, which probably you'll not use half of it, but you'll end up having something from the checkpoints or...
Well, this is the worry. To keep things fresh, you'll pack your bag full of sports nutrition.
You'll bring it all home again.
You just won't want to eat it. I'd go back to something you said, Jade. You spent a lot of time on your own on the Winter 200. Yeah, out of that 70 odd hours then, what we're looking at?
Well, I think the first day and the first night I had company, and then the second day I was completely alone for the whole day, which was... it was quite a slog. It was quite hard to keep yourself going when you're on your own. And I did buddy up again for the second night. And then after that, I was on my own for the rest of the race.
Oh, my
So the third day, the third night, and then the last half a day.
Did you have any mantras then? I used to have I just give myself, if I caught myself walking for too much, I'd just have a little 5-second countdown just to remind myself to run again.
To run
anything
again.
like that?
Yeah, it's such a difficult thing to know what you're going to do when you go into it. And I spent the first day doing a mix of running and walking. And then when I buddied up on the second night, the guy that I buddied up with was so excited to get to the 99-mile countdown that we kept running just to see the miles tick down. And we'd run for what felt like a mile, and then it had been 200 meters. And he kept looking at his watch, and we were counting its hours that we were counting down until we got to that 99 miles. And that was an exciting point. And then on day 3, I just ran when I could. I didn't really have a mantra. It was just, I knew the trail, so I would run when I could and walk when I had to.
How were your feet? Throughout the whole year? Because I would have thought that could be, if you'd got blisters on one of the races, they wouldn't have healed.
They didn't always heal. No.
Okay.
No. I learned where to pre-tape my feet to stop blisters. I did a lot of the advice that you get in fixing your feet, just good foot care. So using the file and the cream, and I used trench cream as well.
Waterproof socks?
Yeah, I did use waterproof socks.
200, not
for the
200.
Other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I pre-taped my blister hotspots. After the Arc, I had 22 blisters. So my foot care was atrocious on that one. My foot care is really bad, and I was quite determined not to do that again in any of them. So my worst one after that was in the South Downs 100, and then my blisters got less and less as I went on. And then for the Winter Downs, I only had one blister on my heel.
I think a lot of it is to do with the temperature as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
What was your trainer? Yeah, what was your trainer? Do you wear the same pair of trainers all year?
For the Centurions, I wore Hoka Challengers, which were I did the same pair of trainers for all races, and they worked really well because the trails, we had such a lovely summer. The trails were dry, there was no real mud. From the 100 Hills 50, there wasn't really any mud for any of my races. I got very lucky. And then I switched to Innovates for the 200 because I knew that my feet would swell. So I had the Trail Talon and the Trail Talon Max.
What are the Trail Talon Max like? I was looking at those. Well, I've never tried them before.
Yeah, the just the same as the Trail Talon, but a bit more cushion. But I think towards the end, that cushioning maybe was not really what you need, because my feet were probably sinking into the cushioning a bit, and my tendons hurt. My tendon on the inside of my left foot and the outside of my right foot were really suffering, and my feet felt like they were burning, and I just wanted to take them off and walk through the cold grass without any shoes on.
Something from a Jane Austen film.
Yeah.
Did your feet swell over the 200? Did you have to go up half a size up?
Not till the end. They didn't really swell until the end. I think from Farnham to the end, I noticed that they'd swollen.
I think from Farnham, that's when people start really falling apart. They sort of hold it together to then. You get back on the North Downs Way and you make the turn for home, and suddenly the body goes...
Yeah, I was dreading it as well, because that bit between Newlands Corner and Denby's is my least favourite part of the North Downs 50. So I was really dreading it. I thought I was going to do it in the dark, and I didn't want to be in the trees in the dark. But actually, it was lovely. It was really sunny, and my mum rang and said that she was going to surprise me on the finish line. So, yeah, it was great. And I picked up what felt like I picked up speed. I probably didn't, for anyone watching.
How did you feel when you finished that 200 after a year of so many race numbers you'd need to get sort of 20 picture frames to keep them all in, and medals? And
yeah, I felt just glad it was over. Really, really proud. You know, I set myself a challenge. I didn't know how it was going to go. When I set the challenge, I'd never even run 100 miles, let alone planned to do 4 and a 200 miles amongst other things in 1 year. So I was proud. I was pleased that I had run it I think it was about 8 hours quicker than I thought I was going to. I was pleased that my body hadn't fallen apart, because that was what I was worried about. Yeah, and absolutely exhausted and starving.
What did Christmas look like then? Was it a bit of a like, I can't imagine the fatigue. I know the fatigue from a 200, but just the whole year. Did it sort of all catch up with you, or?
Yeah, it did. But I've got 2 jobs. So one's my day job, which is my office job, but I also waitress part-time in the evenings as well. So I still had to keep going to work. I worked on Christmas Eve.
People are like, I've not ordered this. This isn't what I ordered. You just take it. You just take that and eat it. It's Christmas.
Yeah, so I was tired, but you can't really let yourself.
I know that feeling. Nobody cares, do they? You're like, nobody's interested in seeing. They're not interested in my medals. They just said they want a pint and apple crumble. But keep
look at my buckle.
I've got so many.
Yeah, jangle when I walk.
Did you get like post-event blues then after you'd done the last one?
No, I don't think I did, really. I don't tend to suffer with post-race blues. The only time I really get them is if I run in the mountains.
She's just doing another one.
Got something else.
Finishes. She's like, oh no, another. Can you pin that number on again? Just don't get changed. Just pin it on again.
That is the best way to deal with it. You can't. I'm already planning what's next.
Beyond Northern Traverse, any pencil on anything?
Yeah, I signed up to a really, really, really stupid race. There's a race called the Copthorne Races in Surrey, and it's a 10-mile loop. It's very similar to Wendover Woods. You do a 10-mile loop and you have various distances that you can do. There's a 50k, 50 miles, 100k, 100 miles, and 200 miles. So I'm going to do the 200 miles.
10-mile loop. When is that again? Sorry?
That's in November. You do, well, it works out to 19 and a half loops, and you've got Box Hill steps in there and Satan's staircase.
This was going through my mind on Saturday and Sunday, actually. When you do your recce's, I've looked at, say, Northern Traverse splits. If I could be running that kind of pace at that point in the race, I might win the actual whole race. But in reality, it's impossible to do because of the attrition on your body. How do you pace your recce's? Are you just completely going to fail irrespective, or are you mindful of maybe what your pace would be on the day?
No, my recce's are just Sundays out. Normally, I'll take a friend with me and we'll go and recce it, and we'll just take photos and we'll eat loads and we'll have a laugh. Yeah, I don't ever really think about what pace I'm going to run the actual race at or try and replicate it. For the Winter Downs, I sort of thought by the end of it, I'm going to be walking anyway, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter how slow I do the recce. And then for the Northern Traverse, I kind of feel like it's going to be a bit more of the same. Yeah, I'm not going to get to recce any of it beyond the lakes.
Oh, awesome. I love it.
Yeah, so it's going to be completely new. I've only been to Yorkshire once, and it was misty, so I didn't even get to see it.
What a blast. Well, I don't know if it's improved where you are, Eddie. The bit of the recce I did, it was the signage was awesome. You probably could, go a couple of 100 metres past the junction if you weren't paying attention. So you can switch off. You'll have an absolute blast.
The best bit was they've paved the Seven Sisters.
Nine
standards.
9 standards. I'm sorry. 7 Sisters, 9 standards, the rig, whatever it's called. So it used to be you'd climb up a long hill out of Kirby Seafen out the checkpoint, which was actually really nice because you'd come out of the checkpoint like a bit cold, and then you didn't feel you'd have to start running. And then a long road climb up to I'm trying not to say the rude word I use for them, all the way up, and then you'd hit a bog, and it'd literally be there was no path, it was just bog. If you did it in the night, like the nav was a nightmare because there was no path, it was just, and sometimes you just put your leg in and you'd go like up to your waist. Anyway, Matt Neil has personally, because he's doing Northern Traverses, he has you literally step off the road and the track, and then you start on the slabs, and it's slabbed all the way up,
all the way.
Miles.
Amazing.
I mean, it is, I can imagine in the dark, all you can see is looks like 1,000 miles of slab,
Oh my God,
of slabs.
That doesn't sound
and
good.
I found it hard enough after just on the recce.
Yeah.
It goes up and up and up, and I did think it was really wet yesterday, and I thought if this was icy, there's no way else. You can't step off them because you're just in the bog, and so it would be fine going up. You'd just be like skittering up, but then there's like 4 miles I think off, and they're all downhill. I was like, imagine those icy. Anyway. The good news is that it is all slab now, so there's no navigation. So you just have to stay on the slabs, and there's no bog. So when we did it yesterday, we did it half an hour quicker over that section.
Amazing.
Because, so it takes, because a lot of it was uphill as well. Your legs are going to it takes so much less out of your legs and your brain, because you just need to follow this lovely line, lovely line of slabs. So that is an excellent part of it.
From the line into the finish, this is the first time I did it was at the weekend, and luckily they're not slabbed it, but they put gravel there, so the path is super easy to follow, and it's nice to run on, but you're not smashing your legs up.
What, over that more bit after the line?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is a horrendous bit too.
Even right at the end, they looks like they're doing it as Hawksay. Currently on Sunday, at least, it was a bog, but if they get all the work done before the end of March, that should
Matt will be on it.
It's not his part of the country, is it? He's Dale's.
Yeah, but he's head of it all. He'll be like, guys, I need an important strategy meeting of all my team members. Jade, any bits of kit you used throughout the year that you ended up going, I am going to use that forever, that was the best bit? Waterproof or head torch?
Yeah, my head torch, I use a Phoenix head torch anyway. I think they're really great, and then you just take a load of batteries with you so they don't die. I think I'm going to get another one exactly the same.
That's
for
what
the
I
Northern
do.
Traverse. Yeah. For the Centurion races, I had a super light second head torch because you're not really in the dark for long enough, but you want to make sure that your head torch lasts. And for kit, my kit was pretty basic, really. I had the Salomon 12-litre pack for most of the hundreds, or the Innovate 20-litre. That's a really good pack for the longer distance, I think. It fits really well.
Is that what you'll use for the Northern Traverse, do you think?
Yeah, it was really comfortable on the Winter Downs. It did bounce a lot, but I used a Montane waist pack, which meant that the race vest sat on the waist pack, and then it took a little bit of the weight off my shoulders, actually.
That is a great tip, because I have used it, and I did find that, because it's quite low, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I did find once it fills, it bounced, but on the belt.
Yeah, and I found it took some of the pressure off my shoulders. So that would be my only real tip for the longer stuff. You can't really use it on shorter stuff because you're going too fast.
You must have a tip. So we're beginning of January, so neither the 50 slam or the 100 or the double has started yet this year, and there'll be people listening that are signed up for the 50 or the 100. What would be your biggest tips to give them?
When you're running, you feel like you want to quit for whatever reason, something hurts, your head's gone, and it's just keep going. Just do another 10k, do another 10k, do another 10k, and before you know it, you're at the end. No matter when you want to quit, you probably don't need to. And I could have quit so many times on each of the races. The Thames Path, I hobbled
that one seems to be in your
basically.
head.
Yeah. And I could have quit at any point in that one. And possibly I should have, because a lot of people will want to not risk injuring themselves further, which I do understand. But I think a lot of the time it's your head telling you that you're going to hurt yourself more, rather than you actually are going to hurt yourself more. So the tip is to just keep going when you feel like you can't really.
You'll come out the other side. Ride it. It's going to feel better. I'm going to feel better.
Yeah, and don't worry about your time. It doesn't matter if you come first, 10th, 100th, last. Just finishing them all is the win, not where you are in the table.
I think that's almost one of the best things. It doesn't matter where they slam people. And it must be really hard, though, standing on the start line when you're doing something completely different to everybody else.
It is hard, and you hold yourself back, but you do sort of, you tell everyone that you're running there.
You also get a special bib. You get a special bib, don't you? If you're doing the slam.
You do.
So
but only on the last one.
Oh, it's only on the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we should campaign for Centurion to have that for all of them, so you get extra.
If you do slam.
I did a race in France, Saint-Élion. It's a really famous 80k, and it starts at midnight in December, and it goes over these mountains, and it's always like this huge storm. And they did an option. They started an option where you could run to the start line. 80k, and that wasn't timed, but then your time back was timed. That was how you won it. So you could take all day to get to the start line, but then you wouldn't have any recovery. So the quicker you got there, then the longer you had to recover, and it was a bit of a strategy. But you got a special bib. You got a different colour, and it was one like you wore like over the top, like a netball bib or something. And so people, when they ran past you, it's like up the mountains, or you're going down like a technical trail, and you were going, oh, and they would all be like, oh, you're doing so well. Oh my God, you're amazing. They give you like extra space. Or old lady coming through.
Yeah, it was really nice. That was really nice on the Autumn 100 because they're out and back. So everyone coming back can see your bib, and you do get well done, Slammer, well done, Slammer.
You did your own special bib all throughout
By the time it got to the Winter Downs, because James had realised what I was doing and sort of made a mention of it on his podcast. So everywhere I went, I did get, oh, you're the one doing everything. So I didn't need a special bib, just word got round.
Do you have any distractions, Jade? We mentioned about just doing another 10k. Your mind will tell you to stop, but you can do that bit more. Do you distract yourself? Podcasts, audiobooks, music?
Yeah, all of it really. I try not to do audiobooks because my audiobooks are usually women getting...
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. You're another one of those.
Oh, crime.
Yeah. So I try not to listen to audiobooks because I don't want to think about being kidnapped in the middle of the woods. But podcasts and music, I definitely listen to both of those.
That's a good shout, an audiobook. Oh, my goodness me. I listened about 5 hours of the Daily Stoic over the weekend. It was great.
God, you were in your zen.
I'm not enlightened.
The Thursday Murder Club on Winter 200, and I love that.
Oh, I love that one.
I couldn't have told you what happened, but I just like the voices.
Yeah.
It's just voices. Yeah. It's just voices. You can't even sometimes really hear what they're saying, but it's just lovely to hear voices as well.
So what songs? What's your music choice?
I'm a heavy metal kind of music.
Bonded by metal, Jade. I love it. Fantastic.
Yeah. So it can be, sometimes I do have to turn it off because it can be quite heavy and you've had enough. Yeah.
So who's your favourite band then? If you're going to go and see a band, unfortunately enough, I bought some of the Down tickets this year.
Oh, my husband would love to go and see that. Yeah. They're not my favourite, but I love Of Mice and Men, Bleed From Within, Currents. They're three people that we saw last year that were amazing. We're going to see Metallica this year, actually, which will be,
Where's that?
Will be good fun.
They play in the UK?
Yes, some maybe the Tottenham Stadium, maybe I would say. I'm not sure. That's not until July.
Wow, so they must literally make Tottenham Stadium a venue for metal because System of a Down is at
Is
Tottenham
that where they
Stadium
are as
too.
well?
I've been Googling, it's got the longest bar in any football stadium in the country. So I'm quite excited about that. Oh, awesome. I love a metal.
Yeah.
Jade, every week I'm a bit scared. She's just going to say I do a 50-mile race.
Yeah.
No need for workouts. Every week we ask our guests to give our listeners a little bit of inspiration for a workout. Did you have a favourite workout that you sort of a comfort one that you went back to between the slams, or a sort of marker on your recovery?
No, my strength work went out the window by about July. So I wasn't really doing a lot other than running and recovering. But this year, since getting back into it, I've been doing the David Roche ultra legs. Okay. So it's only about 10 minutes long. It doesn't take up much of your time. And he's got the routine on YouTube.
What does that involve?
There are some single leg step ups and squats and single leg deadlifts and hamstring curls. It's just a very quick 10-minute routine, which I've been doing twice a week just to get myself back into doing strength again.
Do you find that helps? Do you feel the difference?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I think I've been running better since doing it. And I've been a bit worried that I'm not going to be strong enough to do the Northern Traverse.
You got loads of time. Do that a couple of times a week for the next 2.
I love a YouTube video. So it literally is 10 minutes you can follow along. Sometimes I click on them
you can't really follow along, sadly. He tells you the next move, and you do have to pause it. But each move is only 10 moves long, so it doesn't even take very long.
I'll give you I've got some good follow along video links I can send you, Gary.
Yeah.
And she's quite easy to watch with her dumbbells.
Fitness Blender. So there's loads of good videos out there, but like you say, I just love a follow along, 30 minutes, Brute Labs, whatever it is, that is my go-to. And it won't be the best, but that is the one I do. So that's kind of why I lean to it.
Yeah, I like a follow along. I use a lady called Sydney Cummings on YouTube. She's brilliant. She gives a 30-day program every month, and she's been doing it for years, and they're all free and they always change.
You're writing that down, Jade. Sydney Cummings.
Add that to the rotation.
Yeah, so my workout of the week is quite boring, I'm afraid.
No, I think what's it called? Ultra legs, is it?
Ultra legs.
I'll try and find it. I'll try and find the link, and then we can put it in the
Brute Labs, Ultra Legs. I love them to say. Quick 5 time, Jade. Oh, what poster did a teenage Jade Barrett have on a wall?
What poster did I have on my wall? I liked Michael Jackson when I was younger, so I would have had Michael Jackson posters and Bon Jovi.
So you've had you've got Michael Jackson, you've got a bit of rock. So when was the full Slipknot transition?
That would have been when I was about 16, 17, that started.
Are the dogs allowed on the furniture, upstairs and downstairs?
Yes, everywhere.
What sort of dogs do you have, Jade?
I've got 2 cockapoos. One doesn't look like a cockapoo. She just looks like a tiny baby spaniel. She's the one that loves running. She can get on the furniture. The other one, actually, she can't jump, so she can only get on the furniture if we pull her up. But she does very good. She stands with her feet up on it and looks around at us until we hoik her up.
Oh, bless. 2 friends of mine have got cockapoos, and they are the most beautiful, well-natured dogs. Is that just with the breed?
Yeah, they are all very different, I think. No cockapoo is the same. And both mine are completely different as well. But they're very well-natured. They are crazy, though. They are crazy.
All dogs should be crazy. Oh, I do like this Netflix guilty pleasure question.
I feel it's going to be something you like, not something I like. She's going to say.
Well, I'm looking for inspiration. Yeah. Have you got any TV guilty pleasures?
What did I watch recently? I watched something called His and Hers on Netflix recently, which was really good. It had a really good twist at the end.
Was it?
But I actually
scary?
don't watch a lot of TV. No, not really scary. No.
I'm not sure you're great.
No, it wasn't scary. No.
Okay, Eddie and I, we've turned up at your door. We are famished. What is your signature
Yeah.
dish? What are you going to cook us?
I don't cook.
Oh, you're just going to slam the door in our faces, the first ever guest.
I don't cook. My husband's a chef, so I don't cook.
Oh, wow.
He cooks for me. So he would cook you a curry, and if he was at work, he'd leave it in the fridge for me to dish up for you when you got here. Because he's really good. He leaves me food parcels to get me through the week. Yeah, he does. He'll plan his meals on his night off that has me leftovers to last the week.
Can he bring leftovers back from work? Does he?
No, he doesn't do that.
No. Okay, no. You can't look at the menu and go, got any of that left?
No, but he's really good. He'll cook whatever I ask him to. I'm very lucky. Yeah, but he does a bang it. He does a great curry, a really, really great curry.
Okay.
I think I read somewhere, Jade, that you're a vegan. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And how long I'm just curious, we've talked about recovery earlier in the podcast. Yeah. How long have you been a vegan, and if it's coincided with your running, do you feel it promotes better recovery?
I've been vegan for 6 years, running for 15 years, but I've only been doing ultras for 4 years, I think, 3 or 4 years. I don't think necessarily being vegan, because you can be a healthy vegan, you can be a non-healthy vegan. I'm a relatively healthy vegan, although I do eat the odd burger, which I shouldn't. So I do think it has helped. I did actually give up meat and dairy when I was training for my first marathon because I was always injured and I wanted to see if it made a difference. And I do get injured less until I started ultra running. So, so I don't know if it's a coincidence or if I started doing more strength training then. But I as a vegan, I would never say that you shouldn't try it because I think it's a great way of life. But I also don't drink either. So I think that in general, my life is fairly healthy.
I think alcohol's overlooked. I probably drink once a month, but I really feel it big time, especially the older I get. Yeah,
I really was starting to feel it. And I think my life is a lot better without it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I quit drinking and took up ultra running. So.
Oh, it's Instagram story music time. Yeah, every week we share the podcast over on Instagram and you get to choose the song that we put to our post and Instagram story, Jade. What's it going to be?
I'm going to choose Airborne and Running Wild. I'm going to see Airborne next month and they're just a fun band. It's sort of rock, but it's not, they don't take themselves too seriously.
Awesome. Thanks for your time today, Jade.
Jade, thank you so much. What an inspiration being brave enough to step up to all those races.
Yeah.
And how you handled it and then finishing it off with an incredible run at the Winter 200 and then not being so broken that you didn't think, I know what I'll do. I'll do the Northern Traverse and sign up for... Oh, look, there's a Dolly there.
This is one of them. This is Poppy. Well, I'm stupid enough to have just booked both at the same time, so I didn't have to wait. I didn't have to wait and see if the Winter Downs broke me before I had another one signed up to.
Well, you'll have learned loads from that Winter 200, and like timing wise, they could be quite similar of time on your feet as well. Though there's a train is so different, so you'll have learned loads, and you go into it maybe a little bit less fatigued as well than you would into the Winter 200 as well. So
I think,
and more daylight, less Phoenix.
I know. I'm really looking forward to that. That was the hardest part. Was the darkness. Definitely.
Yeah, dark by 1, light by 9.
Yeah.
March will come around very quick. Was it like 8 weeks? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I'm doing a multi-story marathon, a multi-story car park marathon between now and then as well.
Oh, goodness. So what does that involve exactly? Just running up and down loads of times?
Yeah, I think so.
How many times do you have to go up and down?
I don't actually know. I tried to ask, it's a Sussex Trail event, so I tried to ask him, but I don't think he knows either.
Oh, I hope they get the GPX sorted on that, because you could get in, they'd be like, GPX not loaded, and they'd be like, we're not sure. So go for 20, and we'll see what that comes out with.
Yeah. I wonder how many times you go around. It's about 1,000 kilometres of ascent. Do you use the ramp?
Use the ramp, but you knew you got my hand gesture of what I meant. Use the ramp. And do you have to follow the way the cars go up and down then? So you go up and then down? Or
I think so. Yeah, it's only been run once before. And then it sold out within 5 minutes.
Why?
Psychos! Well, let's hope it's a really rainy day. So it'd be one of those where you wouldn't want to go outside and it's not like a beautiful sunny day. It'd be like
Oh, imagine that, cooking in a car park. Oh my goodness me.
Yeah, it's closed. There's no cars in there.
Yeah, that was my next question. Was like, is it closed or are there cars in there?
And then you've got, I know it's the end of the year, but was it a 10-mile loop for 200 miles? Oh,
yeah. I don't honestly think I'm going to finish that one, but it's fun trying.
I don't know how I feel about that, because you'll see your crew so much. It will be quite a busy race, busy experience.
Yeah, if I have crew, I might not have crew because it's in you come back to the same hall every 10 miles. So your stuff's just in a box and there's volunteers in there. I volunteered on it last year and I didn't really have a lot to do because there were so many crews. So I might as well get the volunteers to do something.
How many people were on the start line then last year?
30.
Okay, so quite a small field. Yeah.
There's a lot of lunatics out there.
There's a lot of lunatics. Yeah.
It's easy, isn't it, for the race directors too, just to keep that one checkpoint.
Yeah, and they have all the different distances through the weekend. So it does get quite busy the weekend. It's only the 200 that has such a short sign up.
So do you ever fancy like a backyard ultra as well?
I'm doing the Hellfire events. Bedgebury one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just volunteered at their Dover one. And the Bedgebury one, well, it's only 4 weeks before Lakeland, actually. I'm doing Lakeland 100.
Oh my goodness me.
So I'm not gonna try and see how far I can get on the backyard ultra. It's just gonna be a long training run rather than smash it.
And so now we're going to talk about Lakeland 100. Is this your first Lakeland? Have you done the 50 before?
No, never. Oh. No, I've only been in the lakes once, and that's when I did the Lakes Traverse. I've never been there other than that.
You'd be cursing it after the Northern Traverse, then you're going back to the lakes. Oh, it's such a blast. Hopefully, I'm very fond of that race. I might see you there. I'm still, not to race, no, but I would like to volunteer some capacity. So yeah, I need to actually pull my finger out and sort that out, because super popular to volunteer, because I think that gets you a race place for the following year if you want it.
Yeah, usually, yeah.
It's a long way to travel, but yeah, if you can. I love the adventure tourism. I really enjoy just doing the Northern Traverse recce at the weekend, just having a night in the Lion Inn.
Yeah, it's just too far. I'm coming up to recce. I'm spending a weekend in May, the bank holiday weekend, because I've got lots of friends doing the 50 and they want to recce the 50. So we're going to spend a weekend doing that. We're staying, I think, Ambleside, maybe.
Yeah, party town. You're going to love
it. Cafe town, more than party town.
Yeah. True. Awesome. Oh, best of luck to you. What a year.
What a year. Keep us posted. Keep us posted with everything that you do.
I will do.
And thank you so much for giving up your time. Brilliant.
No, thank you for having me.
Lots of people. Amazing. You're amazing. Right, see you on the start line.
Yeah, see you there.
Hey, take care.
I did actually see you on the Lakes Traverse, Eddie. You went flying past me up a hill.
I was like,
you were on the 200. You were making it look a lot easier than I was making it look.
I'm sure I wasn't.
Considering you were doing 3 times the distance. Yeah, you did.
I think I just wanted that bit out the way. I was like, the sooner I get off all these rocks, I can start running.
Yeah.
Right, keep in touch. We'll see you at St. Bees.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye, Jade.
Bye.
Bye.